What's up, guys? Welcome to part 3 of the UCHIHA's Way to Conquering the Shinobi World. If you love part 2, drop a like down below, and while you are down there, subscribe to the page for the next part. With that, guys, enjoy. In the darkness of the night, 5 people gathered at one corner of the Konoha camp in the Tea Country. Almost 300 ninjas from the SSMU, Sarutobi, Shimura, Mikado, and Utatane clans died in the battle because we leaked their positions and strategies, but still, around 400 of them are alive. According to Master Karen's order, we have to kill all of them, and not let even one of them live, said Aiko. You are right, and after 2 days, they have had a chance to rest, so now is the best time to assassinate those ninjas from the SSMU clans, said Nakamura. Emiko and the others nodded at Nakamura's words. Now, only 60 ninjas from the UCHIHA clan remained alive, those brought by UCHIHA Karen. However, each and every one of them were elites, and none of them were without the Sharingan activated. This was due to the fact that Karen was never lenient with them, and always made them fight in dire situations, even if there were weaker SSMU clan members who could be used as cannon fodder. Karen's goal was to create an elite group of UCHIHA ninjas who could be under his command, and he achieved this by pointing out their mistakes, and constantly keeping them on the edge during fights. It's not like he was letting the ninjas of the UCHIHA clan die unnecessarily. Instead, he kept a close eye on these ninjas, pointed out their mistakes, and provided them with the proper amount of resources they required. This achieved 2 things. First, the remaining 60 UCHIHA ninjas became elites, and even the weakest among them had the strength of an elite chunin. Due to their Sharingan, they could even hold their own against special jonins. The second thing was that they were totally loyal to UCHIHA Karen, and had become his subordinates. The distribution of patrolling ninjas was done by Nakamura and Aiko, as they were the strongest, and automatically became the chiefs of the army, after UCHIHA Karen left. So they knew exactly where all the ninjas from different clans were situated, and they had chemicals that could mask their smell. This made it even easier because the biggest problem during the assassination is that the ninjas have high sensing abilities, which allow them to smell blood and react in time. After everything was in place, Nakamura shot a red flare into the air as a signal for the mission to begin. After receiving the signal, the Massacre of SSMU clans started. In just 30 minutes, almost half of the clan members from SSMU clans were dead. The UCHIHA clan ninjas were silent, but the rest of the clan members from SSMU clans were alerted. UCHIHA Nakamura, what do you mean by doing this? You are clearly rebelling against the village, said one of the Sarutobi clan ninjas. This is the price that you pay on behalf of your respective clan leaders for killing the father of Master Karen, replied Nakamura coldly. Before the other ninja could argue with Nakamura, his head was separated from his body, and Nakamura was standing behind him, sheathing his sword. The dead don't need to talk much. Although the SSMU clan's members were alerted, getting alerted and countering were 2 different matters. Moreover, the elites were targeted first, leaving only weaker ninjas alive. Though winning against the UCHIHA clan members was a pipe dream for them, they still planned to escape from the camp. Nakamura sent a blue flare signal, and as soon as he did, a red barrier was erected around the Konoha camp. The size of the barrier increased as there were now more ninjas in the barrier team. UCHIHA Karen knew how important it was to master the barrier, so he added more ninjas to the team, except for the 4 jonins who were already there. 4 more elite chunins were added to the team, making it an 8-man team. As soon as the barrier was raised, the ninjas from the SSMU clans noticed it immediately. Some desperate ninjas wanted to escape, but as soon as they touched the barrier, they burned to ashes. Seeing this, every member of the SSMU clan stopped, and their faces became sullen. However, things turned worse when the barrier started moving in their direction. Knowing what would happen if they touched the barrier, they started running to avoid it. But how could ninjas without concentration survive for long? As they ran aimlessly, the traps prepared by the UCHIHA clan members activated, and in this way, the SSMU clan's ninjas died one by one at the hands of the UCHIHA clan ninjas, who had already prepared for this in advance. Within the next 15 minutes, every single member of the SSMU clans was dead. Most of them were killed by UCHIHA Karen's direct subordinates, who alone were responsible for 60% of the SSMU clan's casualties. This feat alone showcased how powerful these 5 individuals had become. None of them were tired in the slightest, they could fight for this long without any problem. We have completed the mission given to us by Master Karen, said Emiko with a smile. I am even willing to assassinate the Hokage if Master Karen wants, added Hiroshi. Now is not the time to kill Hiruzen, especially not physically. I want to ruin his character, came a voice from behind the 5 of them. All 5 became alert and shocked as someone was able to approach them from behind without being noticed. Subconsciously, they gripped their swords, but when they realized it was the voice of UCHIHA Karen, they relaxed and turned around to see him standing behind them. All 5 of them knelt down and said in unison, Master Karen. Uchiha Karen asked, "So, are all the members of the SSMU clan dead?" Master Karen, "Not all of them are dead. We have sent some elite Chunins to patrol the surroundings, but we have also shared their locations with Kurigakure and Sunagakur. They should be dead," replied Nakamura. Okay. We will leave tomorrow morning. Tell everyone to rest properly tonight," said Karen. "What about the Kurigakure and Sunagakur's armies? Are we going to let them live?" asked Echo. "Yes, maybe I will require them, but in a different way," said Uchiha Karen. All 5 of them didn't ask any further questions, as Uchiha Karen's words were considered in order. After that, behind Uchiha Karen, an Uzumaki appeared, and from that appearance emerged a small version of Shukaku. His height was almost as tall as Uchiha Karen. As soon as Shukaku appeared, all the Uchiha clan members present were shocked by the immense amount of chakra emanating from him. "Is this the one-tailed Sunagakur?" asked Miko. "Yes, meet my new pet, Shukaku," said Karen. Upon hearing this, not only Karen's subordinates were shocked, but also other Uchiha clan members. Although Karen's subordinates had witnessed Uchiha Karen awaken his Manjaku Sharingan, they never expected him to be capable of capturing a tailed beast. HMPH. At this moment, a disgruntled sound came from Shukaku. Do you have a problem with that?" asked Uchiha Karen, turning towards Shukaku. "No, not at all," replied Shukaku. "Good. Do not forget what we have talked about," said Karen with a half-smile. Uchiha Karen was referring to the incident when, before reaching this point, he took a moment to restore his chakra. He released the Jinjutsu on Shukaku and asked him again if he preferred to remain in the illusion and live his life, or would rather be free and serve him honestly as his pet. To no surprise, Shukaku chose the latter without any hesitation. After that, Uchiha Karen issued an order to Aiko, saying, "Gather all the ninjas from the Uchiha clan, and collect all the necessary items from the SSMU clan members. Then, Shukaku will use the Sand Waterfall Imperial Funeral to obliterate any evidence of their existence." "Got it," said Karen, looking at Shukaku. Shukaku simply nodded and settled into place. Then, Karen turned to Nakamura and the others, saying, "Nakamura, you will go with Miko, Hiroshi, and Masuda. Take the 20 most elite ninjas from the Uchiha clan, and ensure that all the members of SSMU are dead." Nakamura nodded and left to follow Uchiha Karen's orders. By the next morning, everything was accomplished. The location revealed by the Uchiha clan members proved to be effective, and all the members of the SSMU clan on patrol missions were killed. Some might have survived, but they could not verify it. All they knew was that there had been a battle in the patrolling areas. As for the possibility of anyone witnessing the massacre, it was deemed impossible. As soon as Uchiha Karen arrived with his perception, he confirmed that no one was near the Konoha camp when the massacre took place. Karen even had Shukaku verify it using the concealed sand picture cat technique, which would detect the presence of anyone using a hiding technique nearby. Around 10 o'clock, all the Uchiha clan members departed from the Konoha camp where they had lived and fought for the past year. With the morning, news of Uchiha Karen's deeds spread throughout the ninja world. Chio, who had just reached the battlefield where her brother died, also learned about this and was completely shocked. It had been only 1 day since she left the camp, but the entire Sunagakur army was annihilated. "Is the news correct?" asked Chio. "Yes, Chio-sama. This news was sent by Baki himself, and he mentioned that Uchiha Karen left him alive on purpose. He couldn't disclose the rest of the details in the letter, and said he would talk about it when he meets you," replied Picard. "Search the battlefield thoroughly and collect the bodies of Sunagakur's ninjas," said Chio with a heavy heart. Now, not only was her brother dead, but the Kazukage was also captured by Uchiha Karen. Uchiha Karen is this strong, and we didn't even know about this. At most, from his past achievements, his strength seemed to be between elite Jonin and S-level ninja, but it is far above that. On top of that, he has the ability to control the tailed beasts. Konoha is really a cradle for geniuses, said Inoki after putting away the scroll containing information about what happened during his battle with Kazukage. Standing opposite him were his son and both Jinchuriki of the Wagakur, Rashi and Han. "You both remember that if you encounter Uchiha Karen, then avoid fighting with him," said Inoki. "You don't have to overreact like this," said Han in quite an irritable tone. "You don't understand how powerful those eyes are." "Just do as I say," shouted Inoki, remembering how he and his teacher, the second Tsuchikage, were toyed with by Madara Uchiha. "Go and announce that if ninjas from Wagakur encounter Uchiha Karen during the mission, they can leave the mission, and they will not be blamed for failing it," said Inoki. "Yes, Tsuchikage-sama." After saying that, Katsuchi left to pass on the circular. "What about the yellow flash of Konoha?" asked Inoki. "He is a master of the Flying Thunder God technique. It's impossible to capture him, and killing him is almost impossible," replied Rashi. "Focus on him. I hope Uchiha Karen doesn't come to this battlefield, or else we will have to cease the battle," said Inoki while rubbing his head. Just like a Wagakur, Kumagakur also issued an order to flee at sight for Uchiha Karen. If any ninjas spotted Uchiha Karen, they were allowed to retreat without completing the mission. Orochimaru, who was at the battlefront of Sunagakur with Tsunade, also received an order from the Hokage to return to Konoha. During a major commotion in the Sunagakur camp, he went with other ninjas to investigate what was happening. He was shocked upon witnessing the slaughter of Sunagakur by Uchiha Karen. Orochimaru reported what he had seen to Hiruzen, and since his task there was complete, he was ordered to return to Konoha. In the Hokage's office, Hiruzen, Danzo, Himura, and Koharu sat quietly. "What should we do now, Hiruzen?" asked Koharu, and fear was clearly evident in her voice. "We don't have to worry too much. He is someone who craves power and is intelligent. He would not behave recklessly, like staging a coup or something, for power," said Hiruzen. "You are right, Hiruzen, but his strength is no joke. On top of that, after defeating Tsunagaku single-handedly, he has become one of the most popular contenders for the 4th Hokage position," said Danzo. "You don't have to worry too much about this matter. We are not the only ones who don't want UCHIHA to become Hokage. Almost no one in the village wants UCHIHA to be Hokage," said Hiruzen confidently. Everyone nodded after hearing this, and then Hiruzen further comforted everyone present by saying, "Not to mention, I have assigned Minato and his team a mission to destroy the Konoha Bridge. I am confident in Minato's abilities. He will surely be able to complete the mission, and this will undoubtedly force Iwagakure to retreat." After hearing Hiruzen's reassurance, everyone present nodded and smiled. 2 days later, another piece of news circulated in the ninja world. The yellow flash of Konoha fought against an army of 1,000 ninjas from Iwagakure. Not only did he kill those ninjas, but he also destroyed Konoha Bridge, that served as a vital pathway to Iwagakure's supply line. Upon hearing this news, other villages understood that Iwagakure's surrender is not far from happening. Inside Konoha, all the discussions that were centered around UCHIHA Karen's deeds immediately shifted to those of Namikaze Minato's accomplishments. The reason behind this shift was that Minato had been a civilian who, after numerous struggles, had become immensely powerful. This was in contrast to UCHIHA Karen, who was born into privilege and became powerful without facing the same challenges. Naturally, the majority of civilians were poor, and such individuals enjoyed discussing the journey of a civilian who had overcome obstacles to reach the pinnacle of success. They empathized more with Namikaze Minato, someone who had risen from humble beginnings, rather than with someone like UCHIHA Karen, who had achieved a high position without the same hardships. Hiruzen further promoted this sentiment by praising Minato's dedication and hard work, highlighting how he had reached his current position through relentless effort. Hiruzen also encouraged other civilian children who were attending the Ninja Academy, and this message undoubtedly reached the parents of these children, quickly spreading throughout the village. 2 more days passed, yet there was still no sign of UCHIHA Karen or the remaining Konoha village army stationed in the Tea country. This puzzling situation left Hiruzen and others confused. They were aware that UCHIHA Karen had departed from the Konoha camp with fellow UCHIHA clan members, and they were eager to discover the whereabouts of their clan members. Thum thum thum, the heavy sound of footfalls echoed, drawing the attention of the guards of the UCHIHA clan, stationed at Konoha's gate. They turned their gaze toward the source of the noise. From a distance, it appeared as if a massive wave of sand was approaching Konoha. Upon closer inspection, they were taken aback, and not only them, but even the Anbu ninjas were startled by the scene. What these ninjas witnessed was UCHIHA Karen standing atop the head of the One Tail, accompanied by his 5 subordinates. On either side of the One Tail, 2 clouds of sand supported UCHIHA clan members. Soon, UCHIHA Karen neared Konoha. He brought Shukaku to a halt before the Konoha barrier, then leaped to the ground, followed by other UCHIHA clan ninjas. Shukaku's size reduced to that of Karen's waist and followed closely behind him. News of UCHIHA Karen's return reached Hiruzen, his friends, the other clan heads, and Fugaku. They probably set off to witness UCHIHA Karen's arrival. UCHIHA Karen stood before Hiruzen, with others standing behind him, including his wife. "UCHIHA Karen, I welcome you back to Konoha after your victory. Thank you for defeating Tsunagaku," said Hiruzen with a smile. Karen's expression remained calm, and he simply nodded in response. At that moment, another voice spoke. "I also offer my condolences for your father's passing." The speaker was Biwa, the wife of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Although her demeanor didn't seem sorrowful, a careful observer might have noticed a bright glimmer in her eyes. "I also express my condolences for the loss of your son," UCHIHA Karen said. "It has been a year since I lost my son at the hands of some bastard, but I've learned to live without him," Biwa replied, her voice tinged with grief. "Apologies, I believe there is a misunderstanding. I am referring to your younger son, Sarutobi Asuna," clarified UCHIHA Karen. "What are you talking about?" said Biwa. "My younger son is fine. The reason I was late is because I was preparing a gift for Hokage-sama," explained Karen, gesturing towards Aoki. Aoki produced a scroll, unsealed a box from it, and then proceeded to hand the box to Hiruzen. Hiruzen took the box, a sense of foreboding washing over him. Despite his apprehension, he opened the box. As soon as he saw its contents, shock and disbelief overcame him. Inside the box was the head of his younger son, Sarutobi Asuna. Danzo also glanced at the box and was equally horrified to see Asuna's head. He was shocked by the audacity of UCHIHA Karen presenting such a gruesome gift, the head of Hiruzen's own son, no less. Seeing such a reaction from Hiruzen, Biwa also became flustered. She approached Hiruzen and took the box from his hands. Upon looking inside the box and seeing her son's head, she immediately shouted. The box slipped from her grasp, causing Asuna's head to roll out for everyone to witness. "Interesting," Orochimaru remarked, licking his lips. "Is this the gift you were talking about, UCHIHA Karen?" How can giving a father his son's head be considered a gift? Questioned Danzo. This confusion was shared by the other ninjas present. Isn't this considered a gift? Isn't giving a child's parent a chance to see their son's face one last time considered a gift? I mean, if I hadn't taken a detour to destroy the black market branch to retrieve Asuma's head, our beloved Hokuji-sama and his wife, our honorary Lady Biwa, would never have had the opportunity to see their child's face. And Hokuji-sama, this is the main reason for my lateness, Uchiha Karen explained, wearing a wide grin as he spoke. The reason provided by Uchiha Karen left everyone speechless. The way he smiled led others to think, at least don't grin as if you're happy about this event. This grin was observed by Biwa, who stood with the support of other female ninja. Here, he's the one who killed our son. Look at his grinning face. He's seeking revenge for father's death, which is why he took our son's life. Kill this bastard. This piece of trash has no right to live. How dare you insult Master Karen? Masuda hurled his axe toward Biwa with incredible speed. Caught off guard, Biwa's eyes widened. She hadn't anticipated that Uchiha Karen's subordinate would launch a direct attack on her. However, just as Masuda's axe was about to strike Biwa, a sword deflected the blow. It's not wise to act so impulsively. Hidden shadow snake hands. Multiple snakes emerged from Orochimaru's sleeves and attacked Masuda. In response, Masuda swung his flail and struck the snakes, obliterating them in a single blow. Masuda retrieved his flail and axe, breathing heavily. Stone breathing first form. Serpentinite bipolar, he invoked, hurling both the axe and flail toward Orochimaru. He skillfully manipulated them with his chain in a drilling motion, infusing them with earth chakra to increase their weight. Orochimaru employed the earth release. Earth-style wall, conjuring a sturdy wall of earth. Masuda's assault struck the earth wall, shattering it completely, and reached Orochimaru on the other side. Yet, upon impact with Orochimaru's body, he transformed into smoke. Shadow clone, Masuda pronounced, his Sharingan active. Orochimaru utilized the hiding in surface technique, reappearing undetected behind Masuda. Employing the temporary paralysis technique, Orochimaru momentarily immobilized Masuda. Though mere seconds, it afforded Orochimaru ample time to act. However, precisely at this juncture, Aiko materialized, employing the thunder-breathing first form. Thunderclap and flash. With swift precision, she cleaved Orochimaru in half. Orochimaru, severed in half, bore a smile. Snakes emerged from both ends of his divided body and swiftly intertwined, forming a single entity. Orochimaru had employed the gathering of the snakes technique. Miko launched an assault on Biwa, employing the water-breathing fifth form. Less rain after the drought. Her attack, however, was thwarted by the sudden appearance of Minato, who positioned himself in front of Biwa. With a forceful movement, Minato repelled Miko, sending her backward. Please stop, Lady Biwa is consumed by grief. Her words were spoken in anger, Minato implored. Rage or not, no one speaks ill of Master Karen in such a manner, Miko retorted. She swiftly attacked Minato using the water-breathing second form. Water wheel. As Miko's blade neared Minato, he vanished and reappeared before Biwa. Due to the momentum of her attack, Miko found herself hurtling in that direction. Mid-air, Minato capitalized on the opportunity, hurling shuriken towards Miko. Recognizing the danger, Miko realized the shuriken were likely marked with flying thunder god marks. Opting for caution, she executed the substitution technique. Minato's shuriken struck Miko, who had been replaced by wood, evading the threat. Just as Miko materialized above the tree, Minato appeared beside her. He was poised to place his kunai at Miko's throat, but before he could, Karen emerged in front of her, restraining Minato's attacking hand. Miko was taken aback, puzzled by Minato's unexpected proximity. Despite her awareness of Minato's abilities, she had managed to evade his touch, thanks to Karen's guidance. Yet, Minato had managed to appear beside her once again. Don't be bewildered. Konoha is his home ground, so it's only natural that he has placed multiple marks within it. Unfortunately, you appeared right next to one of those marks, Karen clarified, dispelling Miko's uncertainty. Turning his attention to Minato, Karen addressed him, I can't allow you to harm my subordinate, especially one who happens to be my girlfriend. Karen lightly tapped Minato's shoulder, leaving Minato in a state of shock. Miko's face flushed crimson upon hearing Karen's declaration. In an instant, UCHIHA Karen vanished along with Miko, reappearing in their original positions. Simultaneously, all of Karen's subordinates who were engaged in combat reappeared at their respective starting points. The subordinates of UCHIHA Karen remained locked in combat stances, indicating that UCHIHA Karen had teleported them into the midst of a battle. Upon witnessing this, everyone present was shocked. It was evident that UCHIHA Karen had employed a space-time technique. As he utilized this ability, his Mangekyo Sharingan was activated. Observing these eyes, a sense of greed appeared in Danzo's gaze. Who's responsible for my son's death? Inquired Hiruzen, his voice quiet yet heavy with emotion as he stared at his son's lifeless head. I made an attempt, but I couldn't identify the culprit. You possess the Anbu, but can be employed to investigate the circumstances surrounding your son's demise, UCHIHA Karen responded. Furthermore, where are the other Konoha ninjas who accompanied the UCHIHA clan to the Tea Country? They haven't yet returned to Konoha, Hiruzen pressed. I am unsure. I dispatched them to Konoha before dawn, Karen replied. Is this genuinely the situation, or are you being deceptive? Hiruzen's tone was stern. Your behavior and actions seemed to target the Sarutobi, Shimura, Uchiha, and Mikado clans. Although I would prefer not to resort to such measures, I may be compelled to subject each of you to a mind reading to verify the accuracy of your information, Hiruzen stated as he released his chakra in its entirety. Sensing Hiruzen's chakra, everyone present here was shocked. Hiruzen rarely loses his temper and releases his chakra. Most of the people present here haven't even seen Hiruzen releasing his chakra. They have only known Hiruzen as a kind, gentle, and calm Hokage. Ha 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 ha, echoed UCHIHA Karen's loud laughter throughout the vicinity. Even if this were the case, let's assume that I killed your son with my own hands, and also wiped out all the clan members of you and your friends. But even then, the reasons provided by me are valid and acceptable. However, what about the reasons given by you and your cowardly friend Danzo, when the Senju clan was annihilated? The Anbu ninja received incorrect information about the attack, and the Senju clan was ambushed by Sunagaker and eradicated. Following that, the grandson of the first Hokage was also killed due to the same erroneous information. So now, I suspect that you and your friends aim to secure your political positions as Hokage, and ensure the Hokage title remains within your control, allowing you to bestow it upon anyone, said UCHIHA Karen. A ribcage formed around his body, followed by the creation of a half-humanoid structure. This entity held a sword in one hand and had the other hand covered with chains. The pressure emanating from the 50-meter white Susanoo was immense, affecting everyone present. I want to see who can touch me or any of my subordinates, declared UCHIHA Karen. Behind his Susanoo, an equally large Shukaku also stood, causing everyone to tremble in fear. The UCHIHA clan ninjas who followed UCHIHA Karen were in a ready stance, their Sharingan active, prepared to launch an attack. Observing this, Sarutobi also calmed down. He had been testing UCHIHA Karen's reaction, and it became evident to Hiruzen that if he were to cross a certain line, UCHIHA Karen wouldn't hesitate to launch an immediate attack. All of this highlighted UCHIHA Karen's strength. Hiruzen looked at Karen and, while retracting his aura, he said, "Calm down, UCHIHA Karen. I am the Hokage, and it is my duty to harbor doubts for the village's stability. I acknowledge that it's your duty, but that doesn't grant you the license to defame anyone. If you possess even a shred of evidence, present it. Otherwise, keep your words in check and deploy your Anbu for investigation before speaking," UCHIHA Karen retorted. He also retracted his Susanoo, causing Shukaku to shrink in size as well. Following that, UCHIHA Karen didn't even glance at Hiruzen. He proceeded to extract Rasa from the space where he had been confined. When the fourth Kazekage materialized out of thin air, everyone present was startled. Karen then directed his gaze towards Nakamura and stated, "Nakamura, you take him and have him hauled at board," saying, "Killing UCHIHA Takoma was the biggest mistake of Sunagaker. Anyone who attempts to approach the Kazekage should be eliminated, regardless of their status. You can't do this. If we insult the Kazekage like this, Sunagaker might refuse to retrieve him," Kaharu interjected. "Firstly, I never stated that the village has the right to interfere in Kazekage's matters. This action was taken solely by me for personal revenge, and only I will decide whether to end his life or allow Sunagaker to retrieve him. Secondly, the question of whether Sunagaker will retrieve their Kazekage is irrelevant. They undoubtedly will. If they fail to do so, not only will he perish, but there will also be one less major village in the ninja world," Karen explained. While Kaharu was questioning Karen, Nakamura paid no heed. He simply followed the orders issued by UCHIHA Karen and departed with an elite team, escorting Rasa. Once they had left, UCHIHA Karen and other UCHIHA clan ninjas also departed, making their way towards the UCHIHA clan compound. Watching UCHIHA Karen depart, Danzo mused, "Hiruzen, what are we to do? UCHIHA Rin remains alive, and it was you who urged him to inform Takoma about UCHIHA Karen, even pledging a jutsu from the Book of Seals. Should UCHIHA Karen employ his jinjutsu on him, he will echo words mindlessly like a parrot. I'm well aware, no need to remind me. If he speaks within legal confines, he won't be able to substantiate it. At most, he can merely corroborate it. Do you truly believe his intellect has introduced our involvement in his father's demise?" retorted Hiruzen. Just then, an Anbu ninja arrived and knelt before Hiruzen, announcing, "Hokage-sama, there's news from the battlefield in Uwagaker. They've requested a peace treaty." Hiruzen inhaled deeply, nodding. Turning to one of the Sarutobi clan jonin, he instructed, "Take my son's hat and arrange a proper funeral. Accompany Lady Biwa as well, grief and trauma have befallen her." "Yes, Hokage-sama." The jonin promptly carried out the orders. Hiruzen shifted his attention to the Anbu ninja and directed, "Initiate an S-class mission to apprehend my son's murder, and the money will be deducted from my personal account." "Hokage-sama, we can certainly identify the perpetrator," the Anbu ninja assured. "I don't doubt your capabilities, but the Anbu are not at my disposal for personal matters. They are already tasked with numerous missions. Follow my directive," Hiruzen asserted. With those words, Hiruzen departed the area, his pronouncement spreading throughout the village. The populace engaged in discussions about the Hokage's benevolence, commending his decision to refrain from utilizing Anbu operatives. Thus, Hiruzen emerged as a hero in the eyes of the people. Meanwhile, UCHIHA Karen, previously lauded for his triumph over Sunagaker, found himself cast as a self-serving individual who had audaciously challenged the Hokage. In a house within the UCHIHA clan compound, a bound individual knelt before UCHIHA Karen. UCHIHA Rin, you disappoint me greatly. Ambition to achieve greatness in life is commendable, but you went so far as to betray my father. Had you conveyed to him your desire to chart your own path rather than becoming my right-hand man, he would have likely understood. He regarded you as his son, despite the distinctions between us due to my bloodline, UCHIHA Karen uttered, his gaze fixed upon UCHIHA Rin. He had intended to name you as the clan head. Yet, where does that leave me? I carried out countless tasks for him. When your power grew, his confidence in you soared. You even used members of the UCHIHA clan as pawns. I thought an opportunity might arise, for our father despised such tactics. But no, though he ceased speaking with you, news of your triumphs on the battlefield brought joy to his heart. It became evident that my aspirations, particularly my goal of leading the UCHIHA clan, were futile as long as you and your father lived. Then came the chance granted by the Hokage. I orchestrated your father's demise, anticipating your demise as well. With both of you gone, your supporters would naturally have turned to me. However, you shattered it all by awakening the Manjaku Sharingan, UCHIHA Rin lamented, his frustration evident. UCHIHA Karen shook his head in response. Maintain his current restraints. Following my father's funeral, I will challenge the Hokage, armed with evidence against him. Dispatch a letter to every clan chief and elite jonin, summoning them for a meeting as I have requested. But Master Karen, what will be the use of this? They won't believe you anyway. Even if they ask a Yamanaka clan member to verify it, that member will likely take the Hokage's side, not ours, remarked Emiko. You're right, Emiko, but I've meticulously planned everything, so there's no need to worry, assured UCHIHA Karen. Yes, Master Karen, Emiko replied. Following that, the entire UCHIHA clan set out for the funeral of UCHIHA Takoma and the other ninjas who had accompanied him and perished on the battlefield. UCHIHA Karen received the scroll containing the bodies of all the UCHIHA clan ninjas from Ibizo. Back in the UCHIHA clan compound, as the funeral unfolded, the entire village of Konoha grew restless after receiving UCHIHA Karen's letter. This marked the first instance in Konoha's history where someone openly dared to challenge the Hokage and level such accusations against him. What emboldened UCHIHA Karen to challenge the Hokage in such a manner? Could it be linked to his father's death? Speculated Yamanaka and Oichi. Undoubtedly, it must be connected to his father, otherwise UCHIHA Karen wouldn't possess such confidence to challenge the Hokage outright, added Shukaku. Let's wait and observe what approach UCHIHA Karen intends to take, mused Choza. In the Hokage's office, Hiruzen also perused the letter sent by UCHIHA Karen. Just then, Danzo entered the office and remarked, weren't you just praising UCHIHA Karen's intelligence, asserting he wouldn't engage in meaningless actions? Yet, here he is, seemingly doing just that. I'm also puzzled by UCHIHA Karen's intentions. We'll have to wait and see what he has to explain, responded Hiruzen. He then inquired, have you obtained any information about our clan members in the Tea country? No, not a single trace of them was discovered. It's as if they vanished into thin air. However, there's a development after UCHIHA Karen departed for his assault on Sunagakur. His subordinates took the lead and initiated attacks on Kurigakure and Sunagakur from different fronts. The concerning aspect is that their positions were consistently compromised, leading to multiple ambushes. Based on the intelligence from Sunagakur and Kurigakure, nearly half of our clan members have been slain, Danzo reported. In that case, UCHIHA Karen's slang about his evidence being reasonable holds true. He has indeed exterminated our clan members as a reprisal for his father's demise, concluded Hiruzen. In the Hokage's office, everyone who had been invited by UCHIHA Karen was present. Hiruzen was sitting with Kaheru, Hamura, and Danzo. Upon your arrival, you immediately challenged the authority of the Hokage. Despite this, he allowed you to leave. Yet now, you repay him by leveling false accusations against him, stated one of the jonin. Do not mistake the fact that the Hokage did not release me out of his own volition. Initially, he had confidence that even if I were to take drastic actions, he could manage the situation, especially with the presence of Orochimaru and Namikaze Minato. However, he was proven utterly wrong, as my subordinates were able to hold their own against Orochimaru. While it's true that Orochimaru only utilized half of his full power, they still managed to stand their ground when fighting together. Moreover, when I nullified the Flying Thunder God technique of the Namikaze Minato, he had no choice but to halt his advance. Otherwise, the extent of damage inflicted upon him and Konoha would have been immense, Karen calmly explained. UCHIHA Karen, as you have lodged accusations against me and summoned this meeting, you may commence today's proceedings, said Hiruzen, neither affirming nor rejecting UCHIHA Karen's statements. Yes, absolutely. But before that, I have a question. Why is Danzo sitting beside you? While we are standing here, don't tell me that merely being friends with the Hokage places Danzo above the present jonin, Karen inquired. Upon hearing this, Danzo clenched his fist, as no one had dared to question his seating arrangement beside Hiruzen. Hiruzen replied, it is because he is the leader of Root and plays an important role in gathering information and eliminating unstable elements in other major villages, elements that could escalate conflicts. That's reasonable. In that case, all the clan heads present here deserve seats as well, as they are also leader of ninjas who fight honorably in the war for our village, Karen suggested. Hiruzen was taken aback by this suggestion, as not allowing his friend to stand up would mean having to let all the clan heads sit down. This would leave the common ninjas standing, causing a negative impression. He decided to respond, "I'm not asking everyone to stand. Please arrange seats for all those who are here." UCHIHA Karen nodded, and within a minute, seats were arranged for everyone to take their places. Once everyone was seated, Hiruzen said, "Now that everyone is settled, UCHIHA Karen, you can proceed with what you have to say." UCHIHA Karen nodded and gestured towards his subordinates. Following Karen's orders, they brought UCHIHA Rin into the Hokage's office. "Allow me to introduce this man to all of you present here. His name is UCHIHA Rin, a very close subordinate of my father. He's the one who provided my father with the false news about me being ambushed in Sunagakur. He didn't act alone, he did this out of greed. Our esteemed Hokage promised him that if he conveyed the false news to my father, he would be granted a forbidden jutsu from the Scroll of Seals," UCHIHA Karen explained. "Do you even comprehend the gravity of what you're saying, UCHIHA Karen? This is a monumental accusation against the Hokage," Kaheru stated. "That's precisely why I convened this meeting, isn't it?" UCHIHA Karen retorted. "How did you arrive at the conclusion that what he is asserting is accurate?" inquired Hamar. "Naturally, through the use of illusion," Karen replied. Subsequently, UCHIHA Karen turned his gaze towards UCHIHA Rin, his Sharingan active, and inquired, "Tell us under whose directives you disseminated false information to my father." "I executed these actions under the orders of the Hokage. He pledged that if both UCHIHA Karen and UCHIHA Takoma were eliminated, I would be granted the jutsu from the Scroll of Seals. Additionally, once UCHIHA Karen and UCHIHA Takoma were deceased, I would secure the support of the remaining individuals from Takoma's faction within the UCHIHA clan. The Hokage would also back me in ascending to the position of clan head," UCHIHA Rin revealed. "Perhaps you manipulated UCHIHA Rin using an illusion to coerce him into confessing such matters," Hamar conjectured. "This is precisely why I have brought him here. I'm not insisting that you accept my words blindly. Rather, we have the Yamanaka clan at our disposal, capable of delving into minds and presenting us with dialogues, thus validating the accuracy of my claims," UCHIHA Karen responded. The clan heads regarded Karen skeptically, as if regarding a fool. They were well aware that the Yamanaka clan was aligned with the Hokage. Alright, if UCHIHA Karen possesses such confidence, then let the Yamanaka clan verify the veracity of this situation, Hiruzen decided. "I dissent from this proposal. If tomorrow someone else comes forth and alleges that the Hokage has committed a wrongdoing, must we convene every time to establish the innocence of the Hokage?" "No, this is unacceptable," Danzo interjected. He then turned towards UCHIHA Karen and continued, "UCHIHA Karen, if your claims are proven false, you must bear consequence. You cannot implicate the Hokage and depart without facing repercussions. You're correct in pointing that out. I also concur with Danzo's proposal," Kaheru stated, expressing her agreement. Following Kaheru's lead, everyone else also rallied behind Danzo's suggestion. You have a valid point. All individuals gathered here seem to unanimously acknowledge that my reputation has soared significantly during this war. Furthermore, I possess ample strength to substantiate a bid for the Hokage position. Thus, I stand out as a prominent candidate," UCHIHA Karen affirmed. In unison, all those in attendance signaled their accord with UCHIHA Karen's statement. "Given that, I hereby declare that in the event of my error, I will voluntarily remove myself from race for the role of Hokage. This sacrifice should suffice," UCHIHA Karen proclaimed. "It's not enough, you must also give up the one tail you captured," Danzo interjected. "Do not attempt to push your luck too far," UCHIHA Karen warned. Karen shouted as his Sharingan blazed with power. Even though his Mangekyou Sharingan was not activated, the intensity of his gaze was more than enough to strike fear into Danzo's mind. "Enough of this discussion, Inoichi. One day should suffice for you to present the results of your investigation, after probing UCHIHA Rin's thoughts, right?" Hiruzen stated. "Yes, one day should be sufficient," Inoichi replied. "Alright, we'll reconvene tomorrow at the same time. Inoichi, using your mind-body transmission technique, you will reveal UCHIHA Rin's memories just before Takoma left the village," Hiruzen directed. "Are you agreeable to this, UCHIHA Karen?" Hiruzen inquired. "I have no objections," UCHIHA Karen affirmed. "Very well, today's meeting concludes," Hiruzen announced, signaling the end of the discussion. Following that, everyone vacated the Hokage building. Inoichi walked alongside Choza and Shukaku. The trio paused upon hearing a voice. "It's a pleasure to meet all of you, the 15th generation of Ino Shikacho." UCHIHA Karen stood behind them. "Hello UCHIHA Karen. Do you need something?" Shukaku asked. "Yes, I've come to inform you all, particularly to Inoichi, that whatever you witness within UCHIHA Rin's memories, presented exactly the same way during tomorrow's meeting. Failure to comply will result in consequences you cannot afford," UCHIHA Karen warned, then departed. Inoichi, Shukaku, and Choza exchanged glances. Shukaku stated, "We'll discuss this tonight." UCHIHA Karen's house welcomed two guests. UCHIHA Fugaku and his son, UCHIHA Itachi. UCHIHA Karen sat on a tatami mat, while UCHIHA Fugaku and Itachi occupied seats across from him. "It's uncommon to see you visiting, clan head," UCHIHA Karen remarked. "I apologize for what transpired with your father. However, you're aware of his resolute nature. Once he makes a decision, he disregards all advice. Plus, most UCHIHA clan ninjas were on the battlefield then, and only recently returned," Fugaku explained. I understand, but why did you suddenly decide to meet me? Uchiha Karen inquired. I wish to ask you why you engaged in all this today. Surely, you're not foolish enough to believe the Yamanaka clan would support you over the Hokage, Fugaku questioned. I acknowledge that the Yamanaka clan staunchly supports the Hokage, but what I want to discern is whether they support the Hokage specifically or Hiruzen, Uchiha Karen responded. I see. However, offering your candidacy for the Hokage position as the wager wasn't that excessive. Fugaku questioned further. Are you living in a delusion, clan head? No, Uchiha can't become Hokage, while the current Hokage's faction holds power, Uchiha Karen retorted. Allow me to pose this question. When you decided to enter the war independently, were you promised a chance at the Hokage position? Yet, how often were your battle accomplishments discussed or acknowledged in Konoha? Conversely, the moment Minato achieved something, the entire village knew. As for the Wicked Eye Fugaku moniker you gained during battle, that was bestowed upon you by the enemy, not Konoha's people. Hence, I've offered something worthless, Uchiha Karen stated. Uchiha Fugaku let out a sigh and shook his head. When he initially joined the battle, he was confident in his abilities, and believed he could become a strong contender for the Hokage position. Deep within, he understood that his chances might be slim, but he exerted his utmost effort, aiming to have no regrets in the future. Fugaku then produced a letter and handed it to Uchiha Karen. This is your appointment letter as the vice captain of the Konoha military police force. Uchiha Karen accepted the letter and replied, I will commence my duties tomorrow. What does life mean to you? Itachi, who sat beside Fugaku, posed this question. I might not fully comprehend your query, but to me, life is safeguarding my loved ones and enabling them to live with dignity. I advise you that intricate answers aren't always correct. Sometimes, simplicity holds greater truth. Complex answers to your questions can convolute your entire life, Uchiha Karen answered. Thank you for addressing my uncertainty. I will keep your counsel in mind, Uchiha Itachi acknowledged. In the Naru clan compound, during the night. What course of action do you think we should take? The decision has become considerably challenging for me today. Not only did I delve into Uchiha Rin's memories, but I also examined all the intelligence Konoha possesses regarding Uchiha Madara's abilities. If Uchiha Karen manages to approach the strength of Madara, then the position of Hokage will hold no significance, and we will be in grave danger, Inoichi voice. Don't fret excessively, Inoichi. Uchiha Karen is likely just posturing, Choza reassured. No, he isn't. You must have noticed it too. When he entered Konoha, had the Hokage launched an attack, Karen would have retaliated. There wasn't a trace of fear in his eyes or expression. That indicates he possesses the confidence to stand against the Hokage. Not only that, he possesses the ability to manipulate space, rendering Minato's Flying Thunder God technique ineffective, Shukaku explained. While we share a close connection with the Shirotobi clan, that doesn't imply we are reliant on them, Shukaku continued. At that moment, a ninja from the Naru clan arrived, stating, Someone has come to meet you, clan head. Who would visit at such a late hour? Naru Shukaku pondered aloud. Amid their confusion, a man entered, employing a hand seal to dispel a transformation technique. It was Danzo. Mr. Danzo, you've arrived at quite a late hour, Shukaku acknowledged. Yes, I had to. I've come to remind you about your tasks for tomorrow. Before you speak out against us, remember that you have a family to safeguard. Your family resides in Konoha, and this is all I need to convey, Danzo declared. After his statement, he employed the transformation technique once more, and departed from the Naru clan compound. The expressions of Shukaku, Choza, and Inoichi were filled with fury and indignation amidst their confusion. The following day, the scheduled meeting took place. Present at this time were all the clan heads and jonins, gathered to learn the results of the investigation. Due to the large number of attendees, the location was changed to the Chunin exams venue. Kushina was also in attendance, but under the care of Minato and Jiraiya, who had returned from the battlefield. During this moment, Inoichi stood alongside the Hokage on the elevated platform. Inoichi, now that you have completed the investigation, please present the findings to all those assembled here. In agreement, Inoichi nodded and replied, Hokage-sama, showing these findings to such a large audience requires a significant amount of chakra. Don't worry, I will provide you with my chakra, assured Uchiha Karen as he positioned himself next to Inoichi. Inoichi acknowledged this, and Uchiha Karen placed his hand on Inoichi's back, saying, Go ahead. Utilizing the mind-body transmission technique, Inoichi projected the memories of Uchiha Rin to everyone present. The conclusion drawn from Uchiha Rin's memories that everyone witnessed was that his actions were driven by selfish motives to assume the role of the clan head. After viewing these memories, various reactions emerged among the attendees. Some displayed happiness, while others expressed disdain towards Uchiha Karen for engaging in such a futile endeavor. Desazumura, Kaharu, and Danzo were rejoicing while appreciating Inoichi, thinking that this scene suggested Uchiha Karen's attempt to frame the Hokage, thereby giving them a reason to take action against Uchiha Karen. Something else surfaced in the memory of Uchiha Rin. It was revealed that when Uchiha Karen employed Jinjutsu on Uchiha Rin remained unaffected. He merely pretended to be influenced and confessed as if he had indeed fallen under the Jinjutsu's control, all with the intention of bringing down Uchiha Karen alongside him. Following this revelation, Inoichi dispelled the effects of the mind-body transmission technique, prompting whispers to fill the air among those present as their eyes opened. Danzo, Himura, and Kaheru regarded Inoichi with stern gazes, while Hiruzen's countenance remained tranquil, without a hint of alteration. It appears that I have been deceived. Hokage-sama, I apologize for this. As I promised, I will withdraw from the Hokage election. Moreover, for consuming the time of all those gathered here and disrupting the proceedings, I will compensate the village with a sum of 30 million ryo, declared Uchiha Karen. No need to fret. This situation wasn't your fault, and you need not rescind your Hokage candidacy. You were manipulated and not at fault for being misled, reassured Hiruzen. You possess a generous spirit, but my word is my bond, and I intend to fulfill it, insisted Uchiha Karen. As you wish. With that, today's meeting concludes, affirmed Hiruzen. Before we adjourn, if the Hokage permits, I have a few matters to announce while everyone is present, stated Uchiha Karen. Hiruzen nodded to indicate his agreement. There will be some changes in the Konoha police force. First, starting from today, there will be sessions for individuals apprehended by the Konoha police force. During these sessions, crimes will be announced, evidence will be presented, and in accordance with Konoha's rules, those proven guilty will be punished. These sessions will occur from morning until evening, with retired Uchiha clan ninjas serving as judges. These proceedings will be open to the public, space permitting. Priority for attendance will be given to the family members of the accused. Secondly, a newspaper will be introduced for the people of Konoha to purchase. This newspaper will provide information about arrests, charges, and incidents managed by the Konoha police force, stated Uchiha Karen. Upon hearing Uchiha Karen's words, the expressions of those in attendance shifted. They understood that the Uchiha clan's lack of popularity in the village stemmed from their practice of making arrests and carrying out punishments in secret. However, with the announcement that the process of handling arrested individuals would be made transparent, it was likely that much of the animosity toward the Uchiha clan would dissipate. Why did you not seek permission from the Konoha Council before implementing such changes? Questioned Kaheru. I deemed it unnecessary, as these reforms fall within the jurisdiction of the Konoha police force, responded Uchiha Karen. With this announcement concluded, I thank you all for your attention, Uchiha Karen declared before departing alongside Uchiha Fugaku. After Uchiha Karen left, the others followed suit, leaving only Inoshikacho and the Hokage, along with Kaheru, Danzo, and Himura. Why did you reveal that final part? What were you thinking? Inquired Kaheru. I merely acted within the boundaries I had set for myself. I am unwilling to incur the enmity of someone with the potential to be as formidable as Uchiha Madara. Furthermore, I have my family to safeguard, a point Mr. Danzo reminded me of yesterday, replied Inoichi as he departed alongside Shukaku and Choza. What did you do? Questioned Hiruzen, his tone laced with coldness. HMPH, I gave them a warning to prod them in the right direction, Danzo retorted. You announced changes to the rules of the Konoha police force, but those elders haven't agreed to them. If they oppose it now, it will become embarrassing for the Uchiha clan. You should have conducted the meeting before announcing the reforms, said Fugaku as he walked beside Uchiha Karen. Are the reforms I made good for the clan? Asked Karen. Yes, they are very beneficial, replied Fugaku. Then you don't have to worry about those elders. I will handle them, said Uchiha Karen. Uchiha Karen and Uchiha Fugaku finally reached the Naka shrine, where the meeting was about to be held. As Uchiha Karen entered the Naka shrine, Naoki came forward and said, Master Karen, we have distributed the papers outlining the reforms in the Uchiha police force to all the elders and ninjas. Karen nodded, went to his reserved seat, and as Fugaku took his seat, the meeting finally began. Clan head, this reform is unacceptable. We Uchiha don't need to share any information with anyone, and on top of that, we have to share power with the civilians. It's totally unacceptable, said one of the elders. Yes, this reform is completely unacceptable, another elder chimed in. Most of the elders rejected and opposed this reform. Fugaku remained quiet and looked at Karen as if to say, see, didn't I tell you? Uchiha Karen stood up from his seat and said, quiet. This reform was introduced by me, as you have already read. One of the elders wanted to say something, but before he could speak, Karen interjected, I am not done speaking, so keep quiet. Kid, how old are you and what are you doing here? Uchiha Karen inquired, looking at a 6-year-old boy. My name is Uchiha Shusei, and I am 6 years old. I was asked to be here because I possess the 3 Tomo Sharingan and have participated in war, explained Shusei. You are very talented, keep this up, praised Uchiha Karen. Then he turned towards the elders and continued, tell me, this kid has already participated in the war, even though he's just 6 years old. In your prime, you at least had the strength of an elite jonin. Even if your strength has deteriorated due to your age, you can still exert the power equivalent to a special jonin. Not to mention, if you use your Sharingan, you can even make jonins fearful of fighting you. So, what were you doing sitting here in the clan compound, doing nothing? We were in the clan compound to protect the remaining members of our clan who were in Konoha, explained one of the elders. I agree that we are targeted by the higher-ups in Konoha, but they're not foolish enough to attack our clan while we're outside fighting on the battlefield. If they were to do so, it would become obvious that we would rebel against them. Yes, they attacked us, but it was on the battlefield, not here in Konoha, retorted Karen. Whatever you say, but we will not allow this reform to take effect, declared the elder Uchiha. Are you sure about that? Challenged Uchiha Karen, suddenly appearing beside the Uchiha elder. Uchiha Karen grabbed the elder by his neck and warned, listening to your debate doesn't mean I care about your opinion. If you dare disobey me, I will kill you. I don't tolerate unstable factors in my life, so along with you, your entire lineage will be destroyed. Think before you speak in front of me. It's because of people like you that our Uchiha clan is becoming more and more unstable. Uchiha Karen flung the elder away like a ragdoll and continued, the reforms that are coming to the Konoha police force were created by me. As the vice captain of the Konoha police force, I have the authority to make such decisions. And the warning I gave this piece of shit applies to all of you as well. The reason I am recruiting civilians into the Konoha police force is crucial for our clan. Currently, all the tasks are being handled by our ninjas, preventing them from taking on missions outside Konoha. Consequently, they lack sufficient combat experience, which weakens us. We must become far more powerful than we are now. By recruiting civilians, disputes among the civilian population will be handled by them. Since no ninja will be involved in the recruitment, power distribution will not be affected. Another reason is that we will provide these civilians with a good salary and lifelong financial protection, including a pension after retirement or in the event of death on duty. I intend to make the position in the Konoha police force an attractive career choice for civilians. This initiative will also enhance our popularity within Konoha, explained Uchiha Karen. Any further questions? Inquired Uchiha Karen. Everyone remained silent after hearing Karen's question. Observing the silence, Uchiha Karen left the Naka shrine accompanied by Miko and Aiko. Upon arriving home, Uchiha Karen asked Miko, has the information about the recruitment of civilians in the Konoha police force been circulated? Yes, Master Karen. In 5 days, we will conduct their tests and select 100 individuals as per your instructions, responded Miko. At that moment, 3 people materialized in the room seemingly out of thin air. They were Nakamura, Hiroshi, and Mitsuda. Uchiha Karen was not surprised by their sudden appearance, as he himself had sent them through teleportation and designated his house as their return point. So, how did things go with Chiyo? He inquired. Chiyo readily agreed to your proposal, reported Nakamura. Uchiha Karen smiled and said, Danzo, oh Danzo, let's see how you'll feel after experiencing the same fate that you imposed upon the Uchiha.
And that's the end of this episode. The series will continue in the next part. So be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share, and comment down below. This really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, we'll be seeing you in the next part. Check out these videos right here for more awesome isekai anime content.